Okay.
Let's go. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Lou. I'm joined by co-host Alex Wong. As you can see, the table is very big. We look like an ESPN halftime show right now because this is the crossover collaboration. HW and RR, the Raptors Republic folks are here. Samson, Trey, S. We're all here to talk with the Raptors, who are, by the way, not the talk of Summer League, but we did smack the Chicago Bulls. We're not talking about that first and foremost. Just coming from practice today, the latest is that Brandon Ingram, first off, fully cleared. Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But he says we'll make the playoffs for sure. Well, let's go down the table. Let's get your thoughts on this. Alex Wong, do you agree with Brandon Ingram? Are the Raptors going to make the playoffs for sure?
Playoffs, are we talking top 6 or top 10?
We got to talk with the mic closer to your mouth, buddy.
Like this?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Top 6 or top 10, though?
You know, that's a good question. Because, I don't actually count the play-in as playoffs.
Okay.
Let's say top 6.
Yeah.
Top 6.
Would you get the Raptors top 6?
Well, I got the Wizards ahead of them. I got the Knicks.
Okay.
Cavs.
That's 2.
Who else? Sixers, maybe? Who am I missing? Pistons.
The Magic.
Magic.
Okay.
Bucks? You trust Giannis?
Bucks, maybe.
Uh-huh.
So I would say...
Hawks.
Hawks.
Kaká.
I would say the Raptors are going to be outside of the top 6.
Okay, good. We got your micro in. So.
Outside of the top 6.
All right.
For me, it's pretty simple. I think that they can win playing games, and probably 7 or 8, and
so
that they'll
dark.
be there. Well, no, you know, and
They
you
can win playing.
Yeah, they can win playing games, and maybe
Sounds like
they
a threat.
can. Yeah, that's funny. I think that they can. I'd be surprised a little bit if they were a top 6 seed, but not totally surprised. It's doable, but there's also a lot of health concerns on the roster.
Yeah.
They need a healthy season. A lot of other teams have like dependable guys who create 45 wins just by stepping onto the court, basically. And the Raptors, if they prove it, then like hell yeah, they're playing great basketball. They're playing healthy, but probably I think the playoffs just threw the play-in into it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think like playoffs for sure. I think it'd be a major disappointment if the Raptors don't make the playoffs in general. Like top 6, they're kind of in that glut of Detroit, Milwaukee, Atlanta, and them. And like I wouldn't say any of those 3 teams are like outright better than them. They just need obviously good help from Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes to take another step to being like the best player on the team. So I think it's fairly doable.
Okay. Nice.
There's 3 teams that are in weird spots in the East that are not the Raptors, and that's the Pacers, the Sixers, and the Celtics.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because injuries, and you don't know if they're going to end up being top teams or bottom feeders, right? Depending on those situations, I could see them being a top 6 team because that really, like to your point about Detroit, Atlanta, feels like those are the teams that are going to establish themselves as a top 6. I could see the Raptors doing it. We're pretty optimistic on 45 wins, though.
Yeah.
So 45 wins is... We're OD though. We believe.
I was gonna say,
a lot.
I think the lines came out. I think they had the Raps at like
36.
30. Was it 36? I've seen
Yeah,
34 somewhere too.
36 feels kind of low for
That's
this
an
team.
easy over.
I thought I saw
say
it at
this every
33.
summer.
No, but I think this is at least a 500 team.
Oh,
unless it gets disastrous.
Yeah.
So, okay, so if you're saying if it's at least 500, you could at least easily get 4 more wins out of a healthy
Sure,
season.
yeah.
You know, there you go. That's my pitch.
Sure.
So the way Brandon was explaining was based on what he's seen, obviously because he hasn't played with them yet.
Yeah.
What he's seen, the defense, he feels like they already solved it. They already got the defensive identity. Now they got to form a new offensive identity. Obviously, Brandon's going to be a big part of that. Do you agree with that statement? Is the defense solved? By the way, well, you just saw them force 34 turnovers.
Yes, against the Bulls, who suck.
Okay.
No, I think, why is Brandon Ingram talking like he's a DH in baseball? He's just going to come in and play offense.
It does kind of sound like it. It's like when the Jays signed
He's like,
Frank
yo,
Thomas.
you guys got the defense.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get buckets. Do you
Is
think...
that not the vision, though? Like,
have the Raptors figured out their defensive identity? Just because they beat a bunch of teams that weren't trying the second half of last season?
So,
I don't know if I believe that.
Samson, do you believe in the defense? And
I
to
think
what degree?
they have an identity to be
Okay.
certain. They know what they want to do. The efficacy is maybe more in the air than people think. The end of the season can be fool's gold, but I'm going to lean on the side of optimism for their
Sure.
defense. I think that, the Summer League I don't think is a bellwether for what the big team is going to do.
Let's all
but
go home then, man.
Yeah,
Why would
exactly.
we?
Exactly.
I mean, it's Vegas, too.
Yeah.
We're just lying to people.
I think that they can be a top half defense,
Okay.
and if things click, there's
Yeah.
potential to be punch up at top 10 potentially.
Okay.
Yeah. I think their defense should be fairly good. Like maybe not top 10 like it was back half of the year, but in terms of like their front court, like defensive talent, like Scotty and Jakob is like a high tier of defense, and Scotty showed like defensively that he can bring up the level of the entire team. So I think that continues next year, and added leaps from like Grady, Jamal Shed showing his defensive level just like yesterday.
Yep.
I think it's like fairly doable, and they could be like the 12th best defense in the league.
I think if you see the way the league is trending with ball pressure and high pickup points, like the Raptors have built a team, especially off the bench, where they're going to be as aggressive as possible on defense. So there is a possibility they could be a top 10 team defensively. But the question, I guess, is how much you rely on those young guys to actually be effective consistently on the defensive end. Because I agree, the starting five, because of the length, because of the size that they have, there's a way for them to win on the defensive end. But if you start plugging out those pieces for younger guys, can you still keep up that sustainability?
Can I also say,
go ahead.
Brandon said that he hasn't led an offense like this before. Like, I'm paraphrasing. That doesn't make sense to me.
Why?
He had so much of the ball in New Orleans. Like, probably about the
they
same
had
amount.
no point guard, so
Who's the Raptors point guard?
Scotty Barnes.
Scotty, IQ, Yaka run some point center.
This is what I was wondering about, because I don't know if his role is going to be so dissimilar in usage to what he was doing in New Orleans as well.
You know, I did like what he was saying, because he was like, you know, I want to showcase that I can score off ball, I can shoot more threes. It all sounds good, because I think everyone knows Bradley could score. It's just about how do you make that the most efficient thing possible. I do agree with you, though. It is kind of like a DH situation, because you got all these other guys really, really scrambling, playing hard on defense. Obviously, there's some players on the team that aren't necessarily two-way players, but you know what? Look, I think especially with the young guys and what they're showing you right now, like this is the vision, this idea. Whether they can pull it off again or not, we'll see. That's like, to be honest, none of us can tell you the future of this team. But at least with the idea in mind, I think it's going to be pretty good. Speaking of the Summer League roster, so we just saw a really great game one when they turned the Bulls over a million times.
Bulls suck.
We have my big takeaway was just we got everyone's a dog on the team. Who's the biggest dog on defense right now?
I guess the easy answer is Jamal Shed.
Okay.
You know, I feel like he really set the tone, but I'm gonna go with Elijah Martin as well. You know, I really like his intensity.
A-Mart.
A-Mart. Yeah, we're once again we're soliciting nicknames. The only thing we're soliciting in Vegas, player nicknames here. So A-Mart is a very poor start, but we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that.
So you got Elijah as the biggest dog on defense.
Yeah, I got
right
A-Mart.
Okay, all right.
For me, it's Mobo for sure. I think not only was Mobo,
you're a big mobile guy. I like this.
I mean, defensive. He was actually a good defender at the NBA level, and I don't think Jamal was last year. And I know there's a lot of disagreement about that, but Mobo I think was Mobo was exceptional last season defensively, not offensively, and he was exceptional last game defensively, and he anchors a lot of what they want to do. Like when the pickup point and the ball pressure goes poorly, he steps into the lane and kind of sidles guys to the sideline. He switches out. He also provides backside help. He was the unseen protector of everything that was going on. He's incredible. The way he can keep the ball out in front without fouling, without giving anything up, it's really impressive.
You're kind of describing like the soldier beam that's like protecting the sleeping
exactly,
baby
dude.
and all the daggers.
Yeah, man.
And it's just Jonathan Mobile. I like that. You know what? Because I feel like Mobile doesn't get enough love, maybe across the board. Because like especially now we got CMB. It's like
Sorry, I got distracted. There's a Pat Spencer jersey that just walked by.
There's
61.
some great jerseys
Yeah.
here, man.
I saw Darko Milicic waiting for some chicken fingers.
Nice.
Saw Karl Malone yesterday. Yeah, it's like that's a choice.
That is.
I don't
That's
know.
a choice.
That's a bad choice.
That's a choice.
Even in Vegas, that's a bad choice.
Yeah.
Trey, biggest dog on defense on the summer league team at least.
I'm gonna go Jacoby Walter.
Okay.
Even from the beginning of the season, like his point of attack defense was one of the things that popped out for him. Similar like to Jamal Shed, like he can pick up 94 feet. With Jacoby, he actually has the size to guard multiple positions. And yesterday, I think a really big thing is that he wasn't dying on screens. He was able to hit added strength. I don't know if it's 12 pounds that he added, but he added.
It actually is not 12 pounds. Like the
Same amount I've added 2 days here in
the
Vegas.
difference in the summer league roster last year, he was like 198, and he's listed this year 204. Unless they're
Hey man,
Guys, man.
game in the numbers.
What are we counting calories on the NBA players? God damn.
like, you saw that he's willing to be physical and he's added strength. And if he's able to blow up screens, he has the physicality and tools to become a really good defender. And you saw that yesterday.
How about Ulrich Shamshe?
Wow.
Yeah, farm boy.
That's the
Let's-
ultimate Zag.
Yeah.
Like, because
Really?
look, we're just giving different names, and I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah,
I guess
sure,
I'll
sure.
go Ulrich.
Okay.
The length and activity that he had, I actually loved how there was one possession where I think he got called for the foul, but then they challenged it
Yeah.
and they won the call. He was basically on the corner,
Yes.
rotated all the way over for the block. That type of length plus activity at his size is just ridiculous. Maybe it's not dog-like like a Jamal Shed or
Yeah.
a Jonathan Mobo or
Okay.
Jacoby Walter picking up the ball consistently.
Yeah.
But at the back line, he is so good. I mean, he was near the top of the league in G League in the G League at blocks.
Yeah.
That's a guy who could be a dog, man. Woo woo.
No, I like that. I feel like if you're a Raptors fan, you should invest in a Chomche jersey. I feel like it's
Yeah.
going to pay off down the line here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a deep cut. 22. Ulrich Shamshe. No, I mean,
okay. Over under how many games not Mobo, but Shamshe plays next season for the Raptors?
I'm hoping he look, they're keeping the backup center position just like when they brought in Sandro. I like Sandro. Sandro was even saying oh, we're gonna play more aggressive defense. Well, I'm like, that's good because you're 6'9".
Right.
So let's switch. Let's trap whatever. Blitz people but I'm not expecting you to play drop at 6'9". You're not stopping anybody at the rim. That's not gonna be successful. I think Ulrich the fluidity and the way he moves naturally, he just had to have the game slow down for him last year in Summer League. One of the lasting memories, me and Alex, we were watching this. We were just Ulrich was please stop the game, referee, because my shoe is untied. And it went back and forth for 3 or 4 possessions. And I'm like, Ulrich, you are in a brand new world right now, literally.
Yeah.
And this year, at least in game 1, I'm like, you look fine.
Yep.
You're not making these very basic errors, and we'll just have to see where it goes from there. I mean, for me, I think it's Jamal Shea. Look, listen, the way that he gives less of a gap to whoever he's guarding than anyone else on the team. And I always feel on-ball defense, if you're able to just stick with everybody, even if they're non-shooters, you'll still gap them like this. It's really impressive to me. He's got the quick feet. He's got the smarts. He even knows a little bit of the dark arts. I think Davion Mitchell probably taught him how to die on every screen and draw a moving screen. I don't know, man. I think, again, clearly leadership-wise, all the guys rally after him. I would say the defensive captain for the team is definitely Scotty Barnes. There's really no competition there. But for that second unit, they look to Jamal for that. And I think that there is an element of that. It's just all the kids photobombing us, man. Yo, you guys going to be big in Toronto. What? Can you be in this? No, man. Do I look like Jesser? Leave. Goodness.
Do I look like Rusty Buckets?
Actually, you kind of do, actually, an Asian one. Speaking of the young guys, though, moving besides defense, in 5 years, which player on this Raptors Summer League roster will be the best player?
Wow.
Ulrich Chomche.
What?
Wow.
Why? You're taking.
I like it.
You're taking
I'm
That's
all,
a zag.
I'm all in on Chomche.
You're
man.
zagging his zag.
No, this is a zig. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm going with Chomche. I've been high on him ever since I don't know.
I like it. I like it.
Saw him the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I really think there's a lot of potential there. I'm really excited about that. So
He does have a physical
Going with
skill
Chomche.
set that no one else on the roster
he's
has.
gonna be the best story in Raptors history by the time we're done.
You either look amazing or this will look ridiculous. But right now, I think it's more ridiculous.
What are they gonna do? Fire me like Masai?
Wow. Samson, best player on the Raptors Summer League roster in 5 years.
Okay, I think it's a little bit of a boring answer, but it's Jacoby. His path to a role is so simple.
Yeah.
His skill set as a good on-ball defender, a guy who can guard point guards, and a guy who shoots threes and cuts. All that stuff is an NBA player, a quality one, and it's just about how he develops his on-ball skills in particular that takes him from being a great seventh man or so into being a starter. And being a starter is pretty high upside for a summer league team. So especially for a guy, what was he, 19th pick overall?
Yeah.
I'll go with Jacoby. It's the easiest answer, but I mean, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I'll say someone else. I'll say Jonathan Bobo.
Wow.
I'll say Jonathan
Yo,
Bobo.
I love how we're just
Are you
picking
forgetting we got
different
Colin Murray
names.
Boyles too?
I was about to say,
I have
doesn't matter.
I've never
He's
seen him
on
play
the-
professional
Bro, you
basketball.
weren't in the gym with us, man. Okay, he hasn't played.
How many professional games have you seen of him?
Zero.
So?
Zero professional games. Does this count as a professional game right now?
It literally is. They get paid to play this game.
Incredibly, they do get paid. Okay, but you're going with Mobo.
I'll go with Mobo.
Okay.
I think his defense is so impactful that he can be a guy that, even if he isn't the starter, that you throw into your lineup and he's a linchpin and a wrench basically for 15 to 20 minutes in a game. he's versatile, like positionally. He can essentially guards through bigs.
Yeah.
And if he's able to, if his game in the pick and roll advances to a level where he can grab the ball, put the ball on the floor, hit a floater from there, his athleticism will really pop. You saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
And that leads you to potentially being a fifth starter, or also just being a guy that's first off the bench and is one of the most impactful players on the team.
So you can do CMB
I'm going to
now.
just go ahead and say
Dude.
Colin Murray Boyles.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
mean, like, he's the 9th overall pick.
Yeah.
Obviously, the expectation is that in 5 seasons, he will be the best player on this current roster. I think he has the skill set to do it. From day one, I believe he'll be a very positive defender, making plays.
Yep.
That's not going to – I don't think there's going to be any hurdles for him to be a very impactful defender from day one. Maybe some physicality stuff, but, like, he'll eventually grow into that. And
He's
then
already pretty big, honestly.
he's wide,
big. Yeah,
so
yeah.
that will help him compensate for maybe
Sure.
some of the, like, length issues that he deals with.
Yeah.
Offensively, I guess we'll see what happens. This is why the summer league is exciting, because you get to see how he imposes himself physically, offensively, finishing around the basket, drives. But generally, I think it should be Colin Murray Boyles. I think, like, if
Yeah.
I
if
didn't
he
think he was
isn't,
on the
then
table. I
That's a
didn't-
surprise.
I just assumed that we wouldn't pick the 9th overall pick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
we have-
zaggers.
Oh,
These
Yeah.
zaggers.
avant-garde, very avant-garde.
Guys, can I throw? I'm gonna throw. Okay, I don't really think he's gonna be
A.J.
the best.
Lawson.
Elijah Martin has to be within this mix.
Okay.
I like that.
He has.
I thought
more,
you were gonna say Colin Castleton.
He's fine. If he's in the league in 5 years, I'm like really thrilled for him, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think with Elijah, he already has a track record of affecting winning. Okay, he was like a more featured guy at a small school, took them to the Final Four. Kind of loses in heartbreaking fashion, by the way. Then transfers to Florida, a great program already. All the coaches, they swear by this guy. They're like, this guy changed our program from day one. And I think that, like, if you speak to him, if you get around him, if you just watch his game, super confident, obviously very athletic. Had to play of the night last night with that ridiculous dunk. Try to do it again the second time. Second dunk, he was like taking off from like above the dotted circle as a 6'2" guy. He's got audacity. I feel like he wants to guard. He has, I think, like a good head on his shoulders. And he's just, again, really, really confident. He's already 23 too, so like it doesn't feel like there's a lot of upside. But like, guys, why are we sleeping on this? Like, this is the new NBA now. You either come out as a freshman, you're a first round pick.
What is the upside version of Elijah Martin? Because I agree, like, I think his pathway is very clear to being like a good rotational player in the NBA. But what's the upside swing here?
Norman Powell with defense. That's a damn
that's
good
a
player.
really good player. That's
That's a damn
that's
good
an
player.
all-star last year.
All-star, maybe. But
could have,
Norman Powell with defense.
When I was talking to him, he said that he watches Norm on defense, and I was like, "Damn!"
Oh wow, really?
I
Wait,
didn't
really?
know what film he was watching. He's like Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday, Norman Powell,
Wow.
and I had
Yeah.
He must have been watching Norm playing the Bucks.
Yeah.
I've seen him lock down Chris Middleton many times. But I'm really taken. I think in Summer League you can always buy a couple stars. So you know what I mean? Like, it's like if you're playing blackjack. Like I'm putting a little down on insurance.
Never.
On Elijah Martin. Well, that's why you're down in the moment.
it's CMB though.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It's CMB.
It
It would
most
be
likely
wildly
CMB.
disappointing if it wasn't CMB.
He was the
right?
guy. He was my favorite prospect. It'd be crazy. It's
Yeah.
CMB,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Jacoby also will be good.
No, Jacoby's been great. I mean, again, if you
Really nice dude, by the way. Really nice.
Jacoby?
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Okay. That's good. Honestly, I feel like the Raptors actually have loaded up on character across the
Yes.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It sounds so lame to the fans because it's just like we want to see wins. I don't care about character when they have 125 and then 30 games, but they are actually a lot of just fun to deal with. And, they're
Character
just a good group.
doesn't show up on the stat head comparison between
Right,
Paolo
right.
Banchero and Scotty Barnes or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's
I
fine.
do think, like,
that might be
the-
my least favorite thing on NBA Twitter.
It's
by the way.
terrible.
It's just garbage. man.
Yeah.
It's all right.
To the point about building character, it is interesting the types of guys that they're bringing in because, like, Jamal Shedd, multi-year player,
Yep.
not necessarily like the highly touted guy. Colin Murray Boyles had to like battle his way to become
Yep.
a top prospect. Elijah Martin, multi-year guy. Like, the characters that they're bringing around, it's not like they're guys who have chips on their shoulder, and I think that's similar to, you kind of mentioned this in practice today, that bench mob mentality that they had in 2016 of guys who didn't really get rated in the draft process. Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, like, they built out a culture with that. Maybe they're trying to reestablish that with this group.
And that's the thing with the bench mob is like if we had done this panel in 2017, the highest pick was Yak at 9.
Yeah.
And maybe the obvious pick would have been Yak would have the best career, but it was Pascal. And then probably Fred and then Yak.
Yeah.
You know, so like you never actually know, even on the draft pedigree itself. We've been talking a lot about defense. What about offense? Who can give me 20 points per game? Who's the closest guy on this Summer League roster that can get to a 20-point per game season? You can also say none of them, to be honest, if that's what you feel, Alex.
No.
Who's going to give you 20?
Jamison Battle.
Ooh, wow.
Jamison Battle.
We haven't even said his name. Why? Because he can shoot?
Yeah, because he can shoot.
He's the one guy that guaranteed can shoot.
Yeah. 7 threes a game, that's 21. Yeah. That's blackjack.
That's awesome.
That's my stat line.
Blackjack. Yeah.
You know what? I'm happy you brought him up because I feel like he hasn't gotten enough love. We've been giving everyone like crazy love, and I'm happy you believe Jameson can give you 20. It might be in like a different situation than this, but
You didn't specify Raps or Raps 905.
I didn't. You know what? I didn't.
You know?
5. Okay, who's the best bet to put 20 up on the board?
I think it's CMB.
Okay.
He was a really impressive scorer in college. And South Carolina, it was a really difficult context. They had no spacing. They didn't have a lot of talent on their roster. And they just asked him to create a lot off the catch and see what you can go make happen. And he was exceptional at beating bigs off the dribble. He could bully guards. He was able to keep his handle and stay alive in a lot of places and allow his touch to convert things. And also, some guys don't shoot it when they get to the league. And some guys, immediately, the jump shot gets much better.
Right.
CMB, I don't know if the jump shot is going to be there, but there's enough guys who, when they reach the NBA and they start working on it, it comes around. And with his skill set already, if the jumper is there, then he, I think, is the easiest bet on being able to go for 20.
He might be one of those 20-point per game guys, but like it's not a lot of highlight 20s. It's like
garbage
it's like with
man.
Kyle Lowry. Like Kyle Lowry, you put 20, you're like, watch like 2 of these highlights. You know what I mean? But like it's
Scotty's a little like that too. No?
Scotty's a little bit
Scotty,
like that too.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow, we have like 7 20-point scores on the roster.
this is great.
We're
Yo,
loaded.
we're
man.
great on defense and we can score.
I saw
Amazing.
someone online call us OKC East, man. Maybe I should believe
I saw that. I saw the group photo, and they're like, "This is OKC East, right?"
One of the best teams of all time.
You could sell people on anything in Summer League, which we're doing right now. Trey?
I would say Jacoby Walter.
Yeah.
If 5 years from now, if he's the 4th or 5th starter on a team, he's likely playing with someone that's really can set the table for him, and that's going to lead to him getting a lot of open threes, him cutting off of those actions and being able to finish with the extra 12 pounds of muscle.
Oh, you don't know how big he's going to be, man.
Honestly, gaining weight through the season, pretty impressive. That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I do that all the time. Okay.
I can't believe I weigh 5 pounds more than Jacoby Walter. That's crazy.
You put on 5 more pounds of muscle than him, dude. That's incredible.
Alex, as your friend, there's no way you only weigh 5 more pounds than Jacoby
Oh,
Walter.
man. Oh, man.
Yo, what is this body shaming?
Sorry,
Jerome,
sorry.
step in, man. Jerome, can you even hear me right now?
No, he's done enough. Who's giving me 20? Who's giving me 20?
Yeah, man. Like, it's hard after being the last person to answer this question.
We should
I
should
can't
do a
zag
snake.
every time.
We should
But
do a
also
snake
just say-
format.
I can't
the
zag.
same thing.
I agree.
AJ Lawson, why not? Like, let's go for it.
You
Let's,
can
let's
repeat.
lean in. I know we can repeat. It's probably CMB. The answer
I'm
is like
clipping
CMB.
everything you've said since you're at the end. You just have this insane
This
list of
crazy
predictions.
hot take.
Yeah.
Okay, but seriously,
Yeah.
there's a pathway for AJ Lawson to be a crazy scorer.
He's a bucket
Why
right
not?
now.
He's a bucket. He's a
CBL
professional
or-
G League.
Goodness, man. Oh, he'll be
I'm
there
just
for
making
that.
the pitch here. No, I think it's CMB. Because for me, the driving, you've alluded to it a bunch in the breakdowns that you've done, but like the driving is so special at the college level, and how he can work in dribble handoff situations. I think the finishing is real just because he has a really soft touch.
Yeah.
That should enable him to get to at least like how. Actually, this is a good question. How many do you think he averages this year? Because there's not going to be a lot of touches available.
I think
That's not a
12.
problem.
12 points.
12 is good.
12 is a lot.
I would be happy with 12.
12 is a lot for a rookie.
The same way Scotty, he was the 0-level scorer.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam. I know he gets way too much crap for
It's
that,
okay.
but the 0-level scorer thing, and people were predicting like 6-8 points per game for Scotty.
Yeah, I remember.
But then you realize he's just athletic, he's big, and he plays defense, so that gives him transition opportunities, gives him offensive rebounding opportunities, and he's able to finish at the rim. CMB, I think, meets a lot of that criteria, and he actually has a more advanced driving game currently than Scotty did when he came to the league.
Yeah.
And they both had the shooting questions, so I think that there's definitely room and opportunity for him to do it.
So one of my questions is just like, number one, how is his finishing going to translate maybe just in general to obviously a league where there's much more size and everything like that. And then my other question is, how is he going to finish, especially on this team, with so few shooters on it currently?
I think a lot of it will be done through transition because whether or not their defense ends up being truly great, they are going to force turnovers because that's going to be their mode. That's going to create transition opportunities. They won't have to play in the half court as much. We saw it with Nick Nurse, right? But CMB, finishing against bigs, he'll be able to score on cross matches, and against smalls, he'll be able to score on cross matches. And I don't know what it's going to look like against wings, but if bigs have to step out with him, he can definitely beat them off the bounce and make plays from there.
I really want to see him play in Summer League. By the way, I think he's expected to play game 2.
Hey, he said he wants to.
He said, okay.
I'm sure he does.
He's like, I really want to play tomorrow, so.
You know what? I think I want to hear from him. I want to see him how he plays. Trey, are you as confident?
I think in terms of like his scoring ability, and I think he actually will have some usage because in terms of like processing and passing, he's probably second to Scotty on the team in his ability to work the middle of the floor. So that's the basis of a lot of what Darko runs. Tons of delay actions. He's going to get a lot of looks in the short roll, and I think he has a very underrated handle. And he has tons of he's a big player and he uses his physicality to like separate from guys. So I think like if he averages under 10 points, I'd probably be disappointed. I think anywhere from between 10 to 12 is probably the goal because he's going to be involved in a lot of the actions that the Raptors use to free up other guys, and also he'll have the chance to put the ball on the floor and score for himself.
Okay. We talked about some of the bigger themes, but I also know at this table right now are people who watch the Raptors closer than almost anybody. That includes you, Alex. I know you watch the Raps, okay? We just did it last night. So I want to hear one hidden skill that you see in this prospect that you don't necessarily have, I guess other people aren't talking about this. You've seen this, but other people haven't. We're going to reverse it. Snake order. Sorry, man.
Thank God.
Secret skill.
Oh, man. Secret skill for any player on the Summer League roster?
Yes. We're only talking Summer League roster. I mean, the main roster we can talk about later. Yeah.
Oh, man. Maybe like pull up shot creation for Jacoby Walter. It's not really there right now, truthfully.
Okay, but what do you see?
There's been moments where you're like, okay, he looks generally comfortable handling the ball. There's like, I think actually you guys have mentioned it both. There's like a creativity to some of the stuff that he does offensively.
Yeah, up faking.
Yeah, up fakes. He loves he loves getting to the free throw line, right? Yeah. So I think there is a world in which he can become a better shot creator than what he is right now. And to your point, like becoming a 20-point scorer, maybe that's in his cards. But yeah, I would say Jacoby, like becoming a good shot creator. I don't know if that's necessarily something I'd bank on or if I'm like hitting on blackjack. I don't know, whatever. Not good gambling reference.
No, I mean, it's fine. No, it's perfectly fine.
Man's literally just said the word blackjack.
He just said blackjack and then just pointed at you, man.
Like, whatever. Yeah, so Jacoby, self-creation. That's my answer.
I like that.
Yeah.
Trey, what you got?
I would
Secret
say
skill.
Jamal Shed having like a mid-range jumper. I think throughout the year, the big surprise for him is that offensively and like athletically, like he's able to get to spots much easier than anyone anticipated, and he gets to the rim a ton. I think what led to some of the struggles that he had offensively is that he's obviously super tiny, and a lot of that is him having to take tons of floaters. He hit one yesterday, which was a really good shot. Yeah. But if he's able to work pick and rolls and actually beat guys to spots, the mid-range is going to be open for him the entirety of his career. So if he's able to hit that shot, he'll be able to stay on the court, become an offensive threat. Sure. And that's how a guy like TJ McConnell is able to be.
He brought his name up. I was talking to him today. He was like, one of the things Darko talks to him was like, look at TJ McConnell.
He needs to study the tape.
He gets the spots, and before the big can reach over, he's already pulling up and shooting. It's very simple. It's very ugly, and you're like, why does TJ McConnell have 10 points in 2 minutes?
So the thing is, one of his, like, if there is something close to like a go-to shot for him right now, is that little runner floater kind of thing. When do you want him to use the runner floater, and when do you want him to go for the mid-range?
I think once he becomes a good enough mid-range shooter, the scouting report will tell the big to come up to him, and that's where you use your handle hesitations to get to the rim, and there'll be a much easier shot than a opposing big and drop waiting for you, and he's 7 feet tall, and Jamal Shed is 6 foot.
Okay, so that's like the counter. I like that. Samson, I know you got a deep cut from him there.
Yeah, I was thinking CMB's pick and roll playmaking.
Yeah.
Whether it's scoring or assisting out of it. They give him a lot of like those low block touches, and they would run snug pick and rolls, which is where you run it at the elbow.
Yeah.
And I think that's something, especially with the Raptors used to do that with Scotty and Pascal a lot, is that they would want to get the best wing defender off of a guy so that they'd cross-match them and run them together, and it would create opportunities for steals. The Raptors actually even do this with, like, Ochai will get a steal off of a ghost screen. They'll bring Jakob up from the baseline. They'll short the pick and roll, and Ochai will back cut for, like, a lob or something like that. Yeah. The Raptors and Darko's offense, they like to run a lot of that stuff around the elbows, and I think CMB with he is a good mid-range shooter. He was actually 22 of 30 at the draft combine in pull-up mid-ranges. He was one of the best in the class, and he was decent at it, at South Carolina. He can play make in there, he can make decisions there, and he can handle in there. So I think that there's opportunity and potential for that.
One question is there space to do that with Jakob on the floor as well?
What? I think so, yeah. Like like Scotty and Pascal did it with Jakob out there.
They're going to be playing the triangle, man.
Yeah, man. But that's, those concepts still work in the league. And that's why the post-up has gotten more legs recently as a playmaking outlet, because it inverts the popular defensive principles of the day, because it became a space and pace league, but now it's different, and players aren't as good defending in those concepts as they used to be.
Okay. Alex.
Well,
did you understand that first off?
As you know, like, I have really close relationships with people in the organization.
Oh, okay. That is actually true.
Including Dan Tolzman, Bobby Webster, Jennifer Quinn. And I don't think it's fair for me to reveal hidden talents of players that we've talked about.
That's funny.
Because you're...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think we should be publicly... Like, this is, like, trade secrets.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So
I'm going to respectfully decline this question.
I thought you had a Zag.
No, I didn't have a Zag.
Really?
What was my Zag?
Wait, I thought you were going to pick a coaching prospect.
Oh, no, I can't.
Okay.
Shouts to Coach Muddy, though, yeah.
Shouts to Coach
if
Muddy.
If Shamshay is going to be, like, incredible, how's he going to do it? Like, maybe that's the secret talent. Can we get that out of you?
I'm gonna decline that as well. I believe in the U.S. they plead the fifth.
Oh, okay. Goodness, man.
I'm pleading the fifth here. Where's the Karl Malone jersey?
Honestly, I think, by the way, where is that guy, man? Let's actually, like, point him out.
We need to stop that guy.
And shame him, maybe, just even on our platform. I feel like I'm circling back to Elijah, maybe because I've done more prep and research on Elijah.
He's great.
Yeah. Elijah's a better shooter than people are giving him credit for, man.
Yeah.
This got me. Part of it comes from, like, having been in practice. You just wait around, you walk in the gym, and you're like, okay, this guy can really shoot it. Like, I think he's confident with it. I don't think he's like we were talking about Carter Bryant earlier. The term corner boy came up in terms of, like Ochai a bit of a corner boy too. Until Darko decided, like, hey, listen, you can, like, screen and cut and be athletic in transition. Like, I don't think he's like that. I think he could shoot above the break threes. I mean, actually, most of his shots were above the break threes last season, which I think it's way more valuable to do that than be in the corners. I still don't think he's gonna be a primary like ball handler until he gets, like, somewhat better in terms of, like, actually being able to create from a standstill position. But that three is going to be something that enables him, number one, to get into, like, actual minutes, I think, like, reliably by the end of the season. I fully expect him to be in the rotation. I don't know how they'll do it, just because, like, you have actually a pretty jumbled lineup. Maybe a trade happens. Honestly, that's probably going to how this is going to go. But he can definitely shoot it from three for me, and I think that will enable the best part of his game, which is just attacking downhill. We saw the dunk, but, like, I think that, like, he's not really getting that credit for being able to shoot the three. I think right now the idea is, like, he can really, really guard, he can really dunk, but it's like, no, I think the three is legit for him. And I think once you have that athleticism and you can shoot, you're gonna be good, man.
He was launching in college. It was like 6 attempts per game, and 35 isn't incredible.
Yeah,
but it's enough, and especially since so much of it was above the break, and especially when you shoot above the break, it creates playmaking opportunities because you don't have to attack out of the corner. You can attack both sides of the floor. You can bring help from both sides. You can work on more playmaking opportunities. And his athletic pop is obviously incredible.
Yeah.
He has an opportunity if he shoots the lights out of the ball. Like, it could go really well for him.
It's like he, in Florida, took so much audacious shots, too.
Yeah.
Like, the 35% does not speak for the quality of looks that he took. He did, like, some of them were, like you said, above the break.
Yeah, like
off
running,
of movement.
pull up, like,
exactly.
transition, pull up threes. I'm like, damn,
sidestep, pump,
Yeah.
like,
This
that type
Dame
of stuff
Lillard
was really
with
there.
defense now. we went from Norm with defense to Dame with defense.
Again, you can sell anything in summer league.
Holy.
Sell hope in
Yeah.
Summer League, man. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
No, I agree, though. I think the shooting will be there.
Yeah.
It depends on how the other stuff pans out for Elijah. Like, the attacking closeouts is good, but you saw last night, even there were certain moments in the half court where, like, the length kind of bothered him a little bit. Even though
you didn't see that fadeaway over Noah Senge?
That was nice. That was nice.
No, corner boy's not doing that.
Left-handed floater.
Yeah, the left-handed floater too. That was special.
nice.
Yeah.
Nah,
Got to the foul line too a couple times with it.
I'm fully in the bag. Last year I was fully in the bag for Jamal in Summer League. This year I'm fully in the bag for Elijah in Summer League.
You have a type.
I have the type, and it's Dan Tolzman's type, actually. it's actually legit that. All right, last question on this, because we talked a lot about the Summer League guys. Ultimately, some of these guys are actually being counted on in rotations for this season. Some of them might not even be in the rotation for this season. It's just the nature of Summer League. They're getting a bigger chance to shine right now, but who's actually going to play the biggest role for this team? Like, the Raptors are going to depend on this guy for winning games and deciding games in this upcoming season.
Back to me, eh? I think it's going to be Jamal Shed.
Wow.
Just because
Yep.
they don't have a lot of ball handling out. I mean, of course they're going to lean on Scotty and BI, but outside of Emmanuel Quickly, they don't have another guy to quote unquote run second units.
Oh, they might throw RJ on that.
They might, yeah, because that's the
Good
other
luck
thing
selling
about
RJ
this.
on that, by the way. Hey, we're not giving you an extension, and we're sending to the bench.
Sending
How do
to
you
the
like
bench?
this? Yeah. Anyway.
I don't think you'd be open to that at all.
Yeah.
There's no way. $27 million to come off the,
I mean, this is where Darko has to earn his money as a coach, because sometimes as a coach, you got to sell something.
Manu Ginobili came off the bench, right?
Yeah.
That's the pitch.
He's left-handed too, you know.
He's
Yeah,
left-handed, yeah. He could curl to the back. Anyways, I would say Jamal, just because like this team is deprived of like actual ball handling, and I think one of the main things he can do is set the tempo, move the ball, and be a ball handler for them.
Yeah. Trey.
I think the easy answer is Jacoby Walter.
Okay.
I think he has a chance to start, like if Darker earns his money also. I think he's going to be really depended on to make some of their lineups like tenable. Because like the Raptors currently, like with their current starting five, they lack point of attack defense from their guards.
Yeah.
And then also shooting outside of Manuel Quickly. So Jacoby would offer that, being able to be a guy that isn't going to get the ball, be able to run off of those delay actions that a CMB, a Scotty, or Jacoby also has, be a cut and finisher as well, and then also offer that shooting.
Yeah.
And his defense, I think he leads with that and is super important to making a lineup with Emmanuel Quickly work. I think there's obviously some issues with like defensively with RJ and IQ.
Yeah. Some.
And throwing him in or Ochai Agbaji makes the lineup make more sense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting is, what did you make of his spot starts last season when he did play with some of the starter guys? Like, how do you think Jacoby did with the starting group?
Like, when the shooting popped off, it's easy to see, like, he could be a starter in the NBA.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too, especially towards the end of the season. I mean, obviously, like, eventually it got to the point where it was just pure tank lineups, but he started a lot of games. And I thought he held his own. It's hard. Like, I feel like guys don't really get around him, too. I feel like that's.
He does kind of complete that starting five, right?
He does, and he fits physically, like he fits like what like the current two guard is.
Yeah.
A guy that can guard both positions, is super physical, that is playing off of the ball, and that can put the ball on the floor and score in creative ways when he does get out of those opportunities. So it's like he has a really clear path to being like the Raptors' fifth starter and being that for several years.
Okay.
I agree with that as a first point, but I think Jacoby is the most likely to enter the starting lineup of these guys, but I'm still going to go with CMB, and it is because they do need ball handling from a guy like Jamal Shed, yes, but guys like Jacoby, guys like Ochai, guys like Quickly, guys like Grady, all of these guys like to run off of elbow operators or delay action, and CMB is a live ball creator above the break who can link up with all of their glut of two guards, even with RJ, right? As a DHO hub, and he can also create, and I think he's going to fit wonderfully into the defense. So to keep it short, that aspect of his offense makes him really easy to plug into their lineups without the shooting popping off. And the defense, I think, will definitely be there.
I do agree with you, mostly because of the fact that you also don't have a lot of depth in that sort of current situation. You know what I mean? Like, part of the reason I also really like S's answer to Jamal is just like, who else is going to do that job? You know what I mean? Even Elijah getting brought in, like, first off, he's on a two-way. Chucky's on a two-way. Also, those guys aren't primary ball handlers the way Jamal is. And I agree with you. Like, our backup big, like, that was the issue coming into the season, was like, how are they going to address that? We all thought maybe, a lot of people thought like maybe like they'll draft a center. There were certainly lots of centers on the board. And then ultimately they're like, no, we're just going to CMB to do it. And I'm really curious to see like how his game translated in Summer League here, just in first and foremost. Because if that finishing is legit from college, if he can finish in the pros like he can finish in college, I'm all in on him as a player, because on the defensive end, he's truly special, and he does have a lot of those unique offensive skills. Alex Wong, Summer League roster, going to the regular season roster, who are we depending on the most?
No, I agree with Samson. I think it's going to be Colin Murray Boyles, and I think I think he's gonna find himself in a lot of the closing lineups just for his defense, right? Like I think
Okay.
for rookies, sometimes the offense can be like up and down, but he's got the skill that can keep him on the floor, and a skill that I think the Raptors are gonna need late in games as they try to find
Right.
their like best defensive 5-man lineup and things like that. So I can see him being impactful as much as you can for a rookie this season.
I think it's interesting too because it would offer a bit of like a small ball kind of lineup to close. Honestly, like you see a lot of close games at the end. Like the Pacers, for example, one of their go-to moves is like, hey, we're down 12, but we're gonna pull Miles Turner with 3 minutes left, put in Obi Toppin,
Siakam,
and then
yeah.
somehow it's just enough to like turbocharge you down the stretch. We're not gonna be the Pacers, okay? We know that, but like. I do think that like this is just a reality of basketball. A lot of times you actually close games small, even though the center is very important for you. Jakob got paid $100 million of an extension because he's that important. But a lot of games you might not close with the center on the floor. Maybe because you're down and you need like to make up a gap on offense, or maybe you're protecting a lead against a 3-point shooting team with a lot of guards, and like you should go smaller. And honestly, like man, CMB, even though we haven't seen him yet through one game of Summer League, I think that like he's gonna be 20 minutes a game for the Raps easily.
I love
that
the
alone.
pick.
Yeah, that alone I think is going to be pretty big for the roster. Last question, bit of a zag here because we actually got 10 minutes on this. So I think I managed the time really well here as the point guard.
Well done.
Thank you.
This guy's just patting himself on the back during a pod.
Right now I feel like I'm the point guard. It's like we're up 15 with 5 minutes left. I feel like I'm just gonna like take us home.
You're like Chris Paul about to blow that lead in OKC with the Clippers.
Never compare me to Chris Paul. Arguably one of my least favorite players in the league right now. Please retire. No, seriously, it's just too much, man. He's so old, man. Can we address something in the room, which is if we're so high on all of these guys, why does everybody from Zach Lowe, from Bill Simmons, from other popular national broadcasters keep asking the question, what the hell are the Raptors doing and why they're being mismanaged? Because that doesn't sound like anything that we're seeing here in Toronto, but it is sort of how people are perceiving Toronto. So, please.
It's probably the price tag.
What's wrong with the price tag?
That's what people
we're one of 10 teams in the league that won't pay the tax, but will spend up to the tax.
But that's all people need to assume that like, hey, what are you building that's worth paying that money? And like,
okay,
at the end of the day, like the players just have to prove that they're worth the value that they're on. And I think a lot of people can point at the contracts that the Raptors have given out recently, and it's like none of them are wildly valuable contracts. Like the OG Anunoby contract that they had with Toronto, like that was like a great value contract.
It was such a great value that we couldn't re-sign OG.
That you couldn't re-sign him.
And he got
exactly.
poached,
Like
but
it got to the
alright.
point where it was like we can't sign him to the next deal that he had.
That's what happened.
So to that point, I think that's why people are low. It's because they look at the Quickly contract. They look at. I honestly think the Jakob contract is completely fine, but people look at the price tag and they get outraged by it still because the whole percentage of the cap thing is something that hasn't caught on. But I think it's price tag. Like that's why people are caught.
But who else is outraged about another team in the league that's because of the price tag? I don't hear this narrative
What
with other
other
teams.
team?
What's also it's so important.
It's not a thing. I just don't hear it.
But also the Raptors have to build differently, so they have to fill out you have to spend the
Yeah, you
money
have to do it
because they have to be able
differently.
to pivot differently. They're not going to get a free agent. They're not going
no one
to.
signs here.
They're not going to clear the books and get a guy. It just would never happen. So they have to build differently.
Trey.
Yeah. I think the price tag is the biggest point. I think also they're a team that's clearly went all in on this like current core of guys, and their depth. They're relying on, in terms of their depth, several first and second year players.
Yeah.
Okay.
And are assuming that there's all of these guys are going to be rosterable rotation players and help guide them to the playoffs.
But we just spent the last hour here praising those exact young first and second year
Hey,
players.
it's July.
Like,
We're selling hope.
People don't like. We're the local guys. We watch more teams. Like
You're right.
I just did that Pacers run covering them.
Yeah.
Everybody picked the Pacers constantly or everybody picked against the Pacers because sometimes the familiarity can show that a guy like Aaron E. Smith is a lot better than people think. Jacoby, his numbers would not pop to anybody who's doing a query around the league, but his defense was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's just like that familiarity can, of course, create like a bias. We can be like, oh, we have 7 20-point scorers or something like that.
Yeah.
But it also sometimes can lead to general insight. And it's harder to analyze the league now because it's less about like who's the best player and that guy leads to wins. Depth is more important, so you have to pay attention to 8th and 9th man. Whereas like national writing is probably harder to do now to be right about things than it used to
Right.
be in the past.
No, it's true because that old like stars and scrubs model is kind of gone. Like those scrubs matter because those stars just eat the scrubs like nonstop. So it is really about who your weak link is and all that kind of stuff. Alex, we've talked about this on our show, but like, you know, why they hate us, man?
You know, I love Bill. Just don't look up his WNBA takes from page 2 from 25 years ago.
From any page, really.
Yeah, from any page. Page 1, page 2, page 3.
All the way to page 700.
Page Ocho.
Yeah.
But I think to Samson's point, I think, we follow the team more closely. So there's always going to be a lean towards optimism because you're looking, especially from a younger team when they're building up, there's a lot of space for hope and improvement. And then on the flip side, I think from the outside looking in, this is a team that hasn't been really impressive at all since winning the championship.
Yep.
I think the national view too, they can just take the big picture look of they had all these guys from the championship team, like Pascal, OG, and Fred, and they decided to go in this direction instead. So I think that comparison makes people more pessimistic as well. So there's always going to be that little bit of a gap between how those people view it versus how we view it. So
I mean, to your point too, like, for all being honest, we're all content creators. Optimism is a bigger sell, especially in a time like this than what it is. But I actually do feel like, Bobby was explaining just his general sort of team building idea, and it's probably not just his, maybe the general team building. You're your team of today, and you're building a team for the future. You have 2 teams at all times. And now, unfortunately, you have some 2 timeline situations like what happened with the Warriors, and obviously that didn't really work out. But one of the best case scenarios that did work out was the Raptors' previous 2 timeline scenario. That's why when I hear about this idea about Bench Mob 2.0, it gets me really excited because Bench Mob 2.0 became our starters, became our championship pieces.
Yeah.
And you just needed enough, even at that time, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Jonas Valanciunas were probably our 3 best players. It doesn't even sound that good, even when I say it, but we're winning 50 plus games with that. When you're winning, it increases the value of your product, and then when you get those trades to come up. Now we just need another Kawhi Leonard miracle.
It is true that perception is really fickle in the NBA world. So
sure.
We talk about Brandon Ingram 2 years ago when he was going toe to toe with the Suns. Maybe the conversation around him is different compared to Brandon Ingram now, who's been hurt with New Orleans. Scotty Barnes coming off a Rookie of the Year season, you'd probably look at him different compared to Scotty Barnes entering that rookie max deal. It's just about how good they play, man. And if they play well, if they win, the perception will change very quickly.
Yeah.
We could be looking at October, November. We've talked about this. They could be the media darling team by December. Where it's where did the Raptors come from?
Sure.
Here comes Bruce Arthur and Eric Koreen on the low post again.
Welcome to.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
on top of
Toronto.
that, role players are more valuable when they play on winning teams.
For sure.
The perception of
100%.
role players
Yeah.
is so dominated by
100%.
context and so dominated by winning.
Yeah. So, all right, I think that's a good, fair discussion on where the Raptors are in Summer League, of course. Appreciate you guys. What do you guys think for the rest of Summer League, just what's the plan?
We got the
What's our plan?
Tarkanian run. We got to play
Tarkanian
some
run.
basketball.
Yep.
We got to hit the pool. Probably we got to work out and hit the pool tomorrow morning.
Yep.
And
You guys are disciplined. You guys are very active. You guys are hiking at 9 a.m.
the Red
No, they're
Rocks
active.
was so cool today, man. The Red Rock
Unbelievable.
Canyon was awesome.
I hike across to the casino. That's not hiking.
What about you guys? What's the plan?
We're watching the Backstreet
yeah,
Boys tonight
that's
at the
awesome.
Sphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
And,
Will, name one Backstreet Boys song.
I love the Millennium album. So,
Hell yeah.
thanks everyone for listening. This has been the Hello and Welcome podcast.
Shout out to the Sports Business Classroom, whole space for hosting
Big shout out to the
us.
Sports Business Classroom for helping us all set this up. This looks so professional. We got our logos out here. Really proud of us, man. Big shouts to that Nation Network as
I
well.
see some
Seriously.
hands clapping.
Hey, you can't even see their
Appreciate it.
faces, but we
Is
did
that,
see their hands.
is that a Karl Malone jersey?
It's
Hey,
out.
shout out Jerome, by the way.
Big shout out to
Yes.
Jerome
Yes.
and his
Yes.
Ali Quigley jersey. But no, man, big shouts to Nation Network too, because honestly, for a team like the Raptors that won 30 games, to send even 4 or 5 people down here to cover this, I think represents a significant investment. So thanks everyone for listening. It's been Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. We'll catch you tomorrow. Post game.